Всем привет! Hi everybody, I'm Kira and I'm going to teach you the Russian alphabet. By the end of this video, you'll know the whole alphabet, you'll be able to sound out Russian words, and I'm going to teach you 7 secrets about the alphabet that not a lot of people know, even if you've been studying Russian for a while. These are secrets that'll help you unlock your ability to read. If you'd really like to accelerate not only your reading ability, but also your speaking ability, then you can join me for my online video course called Russian Pronunciation with Kira if you haven't already. I've included a ton of information that's really hard to find, and I think it'll help you make a huge amount of progress in a short amount of time. Plus, I designed it to be fun, easy, and fast. The Russian alphabet is called Cyrillic. It's made up of 33 letters, including 21 consonants, 10 vowels, and 2 signs. The signs don't represent sounds on their own, but they do tell us information about their neighbors. Let's learn the letter names. We'll take the alphabet in 3 parts, the beginning, the middle, and the end, with a little quiz at the end so you can check your knowledge. We'll start reading right away. Your brain is going to get a very good workout, so be sure to water it from time to time. Part 1, the beginning. The first line is easiest to take in 3s, so repeat after me. A, B, V. G, D, E. Ё, Ж, З. Отлично! No need to memorize anything right now. We're just building familiarity. Let's do it one more time. A, B, V. G, D, E. Ё, Ж, З. Отлично! Now it's time for me to share my first Russian alphabet secret with you. Here it is. If you want to sound Russian, then you need to imagine yourself sounding Russian. You already know what a Russian accent might sound like, so use it. I have a second secret for you now too, which is that if you want to make Russian sounds, then you need a Russian mouth shape. So I call this the Russian default mouth position, but elsewhere it's called other things. It's called the basis of articulation or the articulatory setting. Sometimes people call it that. So I'm a native speaker of English from the east coast of the US, and so I'll be comparing my mouth shape to the Russian default mouth position, but I hope that this will be useful to you even if you have a different native language. So when I'm switching from English to Russian, there are 3 things that I'm focusing on. First of all, I keep my jaw much more closed when I speak Russian than when I speak English. In other words, I do not open my mouth very far when I speak Russian. The second thing is that I mush my tongue up against the back of my bottom teeth, at least to start out with. This is the default position where we move from when we're making sounds, but we always return to it like we're returning to home base. So again, my jaw is more closed, and I mush my tongue up against the back of my bottom teeth, like this, like this. And the third thing is that my lips are rounded and protruded. Rounded and protruded. Отлично. So when I say jaw, tongue, lips, then that's your cue to actually physically shift into that position. So let's give it a try. Jaw, close it. Tongue, mush the tip up against the back of the bottom teeth, like this. And lips rounded and protruded. Very good. All right, let's do the first line one more time, and this time let's use both secrets. Imagine sounding Russian and use the default mouth position. Jaw, tongue, lips. A, B, V. G, D, E. Ё, Ж, З. Отлично. So now let's take a closer look at some of these letters. So the first thing that we notice is that we have a false friend in the mix. This looks like a beautiful capital English Latin letter B, but it's actually the modern Greek letter vita with a V sound, and in Russian, V with a V sound. And in Russian, we call it the letter V. That's our false friend. So whenever you see it, it's not B, it's V. We also have a letter that looks like the Greek gamma, and the Greek delta. They are derived from Greek. We also have this beautiful and fantastical letter, which is very Russian, actually. It makes the sound zh. And usually we transcribe it using ZH, but when this sound shows up in English, it's interestingly never spelled ZH. So we spell it with an S, like in treasure or vision, or sometimes with a G. I think this is when maybe French words come into the language, genre, or like garage, some pronunciations of garage. All right, so let's do some reading. So de makes what sound, would you guess? D. And a, of course, makes a. So here we have d, a. Go ahead and read it. Jo tang lips. Da. Da. It means yes, indeed. Let's do the next one. So we have ge, de, ye next to each other, just like in the alphabet. So what sounds are we reading here? It's g, d, ye. Put them together. Jo tang lips. Где? Где? Отлично. Wait a minute. Let's listen to these two words next to each other. Да, где? Да, где? What are you noticing? These des actually sound really different. Listen. In fact, close your eyes. Да, где? Да, где? I messed up the last pronunciation a little bit. Где. I should have said the g. So what's happening here? How would you describe this difference if you had to describe it to somebody? Just pause the video, think about it for a second, ready, go. So one way I describe this difference is that the word on the right has a lot of buzz to it. So this brings us to secret number 3. Ears, not eyes. So what we've just realized is that even though de appears in both of these words, that letter de represents two different sounds. They're very different from each other. Same basic mouth position, but the sounds are very different. So that tells us that we really need to use our ears when we're memorizing spoken language and not our eyes. The fidelity that we have to the visual representation will keep us locked into something that's not sounding very Russian. So use your ears, not your eyes. And what actually is going on here? This is secret number 4, actually. So what's happening here is that the ye is influencing the de. In fact, specifically, we say that the ye is softening the de. It's not the only vowel that does this. There are 5 soft vowels that soften the previous consonant in all cases where it can happen. So therefore, all of these vowels that you don't know all yet, they're all called soft vowels, and they cause the de to be pronounced soft. These vowels are actually called hard vowels, and they allow the sound, the default sound, to remain as it is, d instead of d. So the softening means for this consonant that there's a buzz sound to it. That's literally because the tongue is very high and forward, and there's lots of air going through the mouth at that time. D, d. Instead of d. Отлично. So if you ever hear anybody say the word palatalization, what they mean is softening. They mean that soft vowels are palatalizing consonants, or they're causing the consonant to be pronounced with the tongue very high because the tongue is anticipating going forward to that y sound in y. So that is what is happening. That's secret number 4. Some consonants have a hard variation and a soft variation. So actually, that begs the question, how many consonants do have a soft variant and a hard variant? All of these consonants have 2 flavors. They all can be pronounced hard or soft. Most of the soft ones have that buzzy quality, and they're pronounced with the tongue high and forward. There are also these letters, which are always hard, no matter what. You can't soften them. And these 2 letters that are always soft. You can't cause them not to be soft, actually. This is a lot of information. I don't have time in this one video to teach you all of these nuances. But the good news is that I have all of this information in my video course, And in fact, I even have included with it a Russian sounds library. So I go through, how do you pronounce a hard D? How do you pronounce a soft D? What about a B? What about a P? So it's all there in the course if you'd like to go there and access it. Let's do another word. Here we go. D makes what sound? D. Let's read the next sound. Y. Read the next sound. V. And the next sound. A. Let's do that one more time. D. Y. V. A. Now let's do the whole thing all together. Джо танк липс. Дева. Дева. It means Virgo. It also means the Virgin Mary. And it also used to mean maiden as an archaic word. So let's listen. Is this de closer to da or closer to где? Is it a hard de or a soft de? You might be able to already know by looking at the vowel, but let's close our eyes and listen. Дева. Дева. Can you hear it? It's like где. It has that buzzy sound to it. Отлично. Let's read the sounds of these next four letters. Е, Д, В, А. Е, Д, В, А. Go ahead and read it. Джо танк липс. Едва. Едва. Отлично. It means barely. So what about the de in this word? Close your eyes. Don't even look at it for a second. Едва. Едва. What do you think? Hard or soft? There is a buzz, but it's actually in front of the whole word. It's in front of the ye. Listen again. Едва. Едва. If I break it in different points, you can hear it a little bit better. Едва. It's actually more like da, dva. It's not dva, it's dva. Едва. So this is actually a hard de. Отлично. Let's read these next sounds. You go first. Ж, А, B, A. Let's do them one more time. Ж, А, Б, А. Go ahead and read it. Джо танк липс. Жаба. Жаба. Toad. Here's another one. This letter makes the sound yo. Its name is yo and its sound is yo. The next letter, what's its sound? Zh, right? Like the S in measure or ZH. So yo, zh. Put it together. Джо танк липс. Ёж. Ёж. It means hedgehog, a beloved animal in Russian. But wait a minute. That didn't really sound like a zh, did it? Close your eyes. Ёж. Ёж. In fact, this word sounds not like it has zh at the end, but sh, like in fresh. Listen again. Ёж. Ёж. This is a phenomenon called voicing. Specifically, it's devoicing. Put your hand on your throat for a second, and you can feel your vocal cord vibration if you speak a little bit. And now do this. Ёж. Ёж. You feel the vocal folds vibrating all the way through? Now, let's make them stop before the word ends. Ёж. Ёж. This is called devoicing, and it's a phenomenon that happens at the ends of words when they occur at the ends of phrases or when you're reading them by themselves. So this is secret number 5, that there's a phenomenon in Russian called voicing, and in order to read words, in order to decode the letters that you see in front of you, you have to apply some voicing rules. Again, I don't have room in this video to tell you all of them, but you know where to find them. Let's do the first line all together. So, imagine sounding Russian, channel your Russianness, and let's do the Russian default mouth position. Джо танк липс. А, Б, В, Г, Д, Е, Ё, Ж, З. Отлично. We've done some great work in this first line. Your brain has been really working out. Be sure to give it a water, and I'll see you in a second for part 2. Part 2, the middle. So this line looks a lot like the English alphabet. We have I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, and Russian has I краткое, K, L, M, N, O, P. So let's do this a little slower. And let's remember to imagine sounding Russian and do jo, tang, lips. Let's do it. Jo, close your mouth. Tang, mush your tip against the back of your bottom teeth, like this. Lips, rounded and protruded. Here we go. I краткое. So this actually means short E. K, L, M, N, O, P. Отлично. Let's do it one more time. Jo, tang, lips. I краткое. K, L, M, N, O, P. Отлично. Let's take a closer look. Here we have a false friend alert. This looks like a backwards capital N from English, but it's not. It's the letter E. And then over here, we can see easily from the position that it's in the alphabet that this is clearly an N, but it looks like a capital H. So 2 false friends. We also have L. It looks a little bit like de in the alphabet letter up above. In the alphabet line up above. De, I think of that as being related to a delta, like a river delta. L here is similar in shape, but it has an open bottom, and it lets all the liquid flow out. So there's a little reminder for you, a little memory trick for L. And then, of course, we have P, which looks like the Greek letter pi, or, well, we call it pi in math. So it might already be familiar to you. So let's do these again. Repeat after me. Imagine sounding Russian. Jo, tang, lips. I краткое. K, L, M, N, O, P. Отлично. Let's do some reading. So here we have, let's read the sounds of these letters. What do you think this sound is? P, right? It's like a P sound. Next one is O. Notice the Russian O opens up, O. And the next one should sound like L. Let's do the sounds again. P, O, L. Put them together. Jo, tang, lips. Pol, pol. Отлично, it means floor. Next one, here we have, go ahead and read the sounds. L, I, M, O, N. Go ahead and put those sounds together. Jo, tang, lips. Limon, limon. It means lemon, unsurprisingly. Next one, let's do only the sounds. Ready, go. You first. M, O, L, O, K, O. Отлично. Put them together. Jo, tang, lips. Молоко, молоко. So it means milk. You may have heard it already. But wait a minute. It didn't sound like it looked, right? We didn't say молоко. We said молоко, молоко. So what is happening here? We actually have, if I simplify this for you a little bit, it sounds like a pretty good approximation would be ah sounds instead of o sounds. Where, though? For all of them? No, just when O does not have a stress over it. Ooh, I forgot to talk about stress. Well, we've had short words so far. It's an excuse. We've had lots of stress. Anyway, stress in a word means emphasis. It's the place where native speakers might use a little more volume, a little more energy, a little more air, and also they might make that syllable a little longer. On the other hand, unstressed syllables are shorter, quieter, and in Russian they're a little bit more mumbled. And in this case, we actually have a different vowel sound for a letter when it's not under stress. So instead of moloko, it's молоко. Молоко. So for simplicity, I'm using two ah vowels here. You can read this word really well as a beginning Russian student saying молоко. But it really sounds a little bit more like молоко, молоко. Anyway, what is this phenomenon? This is actually called vowel reduction. It's when we say that vowels are reduced when they change sound if they're not under stress. And O does this. Again, I teach a little bit more of a subtle version, a little bit more detail in my course, but this is a great jumping off point. This is actually secret number 6, that some vowels reduce. They change their quality when they're not under stress. Отлично. So let's do this word. You read the sound. I'll go second. You go first. Ready, go. D. O. Remember to open up. M. O. And this is like the Y in boy. So the second syllable will sound like mой, mой. But what will the first syllable sound like? Using the information you just received, you now know that unstressed O equals what letter? Ah. Really, it's what sound. So this word sounds like this. Джо танк липс. Домой. Домой. This is when you're saying, I'm going home. It means homeward or towards home. Отлично. What about this one? You read the sounds, then I'll follow you. D. Е. L. A. This word sounds like what? Джо танк липс. It sounds like this. Дела. Дела. So we do know already that the yeah will soften the da sound. Did you hear the buzz when I said it? Дела. Close your eyes. Дела. Дела. Отлично. But there's something else going on. Listen again. Дела. Дела. Can you tell what it is? It's the vowel. It sounds more like an E than a yeah. I'm not saying дела. I'm saying ди. Дела. Дела. This is actually another example of vowel reduction, and it happens for yeah. We had type 1 reduction, where unstressed O sounds more like ah, and this is type 2 reduction, where unstressed yeah sounds more like E. Unsurprisingly, there's other reduction that happens in Russian, and again, you know where to find it. I don't have the scope in this video for everything, but it's all in my course. All right, so let's review this line again. Let's imagine sounding Russian. Джо танк липс И. И краткое. К. Л. М. Н. О. П. Отлично. This next line is also a lot like the English alphabet for a little bit. R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. That is not all happening here. What we have is actually this. R, S, T, U, F, H. All right, let's take a closer look at these letters. The first one we already know, since it's an R, R-S-T-U, whatever. This is an R. Looks like an English P, but it's an R. Here's another false friend, only it's only a little bit false, because we do have the word celery, where C makes a S sound, and that's what it does in Russian. So this is an S. We also have this letter, which is U in Russian. It's completely false. We have nothing associated with U with this letter in English. So those are our false friends. Let's also look a little bit at this X. It is not X. That is not the sound that it makes in Russian. It makes this sound. which is kind of like an H, but really it's really more where the K is pronounced. You just don't create contact. You just let air flow between your tongue and the roof of your mouth. So it's a little bit like the way we say Bach sometimes, and we write it CH, or the Scottish loch. Okay, I don't pronounce Scottish correctly, I'm sure, but it's a little bit like that. Loch. That's the sound that we're going for. So let's do some reading. What are the sounds? Ready, go. S, T, U, K. You put it together. Je t'en liebs. Stuk. Stuk. It means knock. You do the next one. What are the sounds? P, je, T, U, H. Hard to remember at first, right? Let's do that one again. Sound by sound. P, je, T, U, H. Отлично. This word, it means rooster. It sounds like this. Pituch. Pituch. So what are we hearing here? Close your eyes. Pituch. Pituch. We actually have the ye influencing the pe. It's just a little harder for non-native speakers to hear this than it is for us to hear it in the letter de. That's why I start with a de. But here, when I'm pronouncing this p sound, my tongue is forward and I'm allowing there to be a shallow little hiss. It's very subtle. P, p. So we have palatalization. We also have vowel reduction. It's not stressed, so it sounds more like E. Here's the first syllable. P. P. Pituch. Pituch. Отлично. By the way, I told you about I краткое before. And if we're looking at these two vowels in the end of краткое, by the rules I just told you, this should be sounding like краткое. But that is not how this word is pronounced. That's because reduction is different when it's in endings of words. Again, I don't have time here to tell you, but take my word for it. We use schwa, schwa at the ends of adjectives like this. So it's jo tan liebs I краткое. Краткое. Notice that my mouth is not opening almost at all at the end. De-emphasizing unstressed syllables is part of the way we actually learn to sound Russian and not Americans with an American accent or whatever language we speak. So, краткое. Краткое. That is that word. All right, let's do this next one. U. What's the sound? R. Put them all together. Mur. Mur. So murmur is how people use the onomatopoetic word purr, right? Purr, purr goes the kitty. Murmur. If you have trouble with a Russian I have lots of information about that in my sound library. Here's another word. Let's go. You say the sound first, and then I will follow you. F. O. Remember to open it. R. M. U. L. A. Read it all together. Jo tan liebs. Formula. Formula. Отлично means mathematical formula. Отлично. So let's review this line one more time. Jo tan liebs. RST. UFH. Отлично. We did some great work. And now we're done with part 2. Water your brain a little bit, and I'll see you in a little bit for part 3. Ura! We made it to part 3. Here we go. These first 2 letters are t, ch. And the last 2 are sh, sha. Let's do those again. T, ch. Sha. What the heck is going on here? The first letter is the first sound in the word tsar or zar, T-S-A-R or C-Z-A-R. T. The next letter looks and sounds like an upside down chair. Okay, it looks like an upside down chair and it sounds like ch. So these first two letters again are ts, ch. Отлично. And then these last two letters are very similar to each other. As you can see, they look similar and also they sound similar. There's only one difference, and that is the position of your tongue. So here's how you can remember them. I think of these letters as being like three trees, and the wind is blowing through the trees and it's making this sh sound. And this letter, sha, to me it has a dark quality, and we make it by pulling the tongue very far back in the mouth. This is the tongue in your mouth. This is the roof of the mouth. You're pulling the tongue very far back. And it's called sha. That's the name of the letter. And this sounds a little bit brighter to me. It's with the tongue further forward and high in the mouth, making a very shallow place for the air to go through. Sh. Sh. And this letter is called sha. You may have encountered people saying that this is the letter sh, like in fresh cheese. It did used to have that quality, there a little more friction in it, sh, but that sound has actually gone by the wayside. People just pronounce it as sh now in words. So let's do some practicing. Oh, I used a little remembering device here. So when we say the words show and sheer in English, the SH in show doesn't sound that different from the SH in sheer, but I tried to use the vowels to make there be a slight difference in tongue position. O and E are different tongue positions. So I put it in the end in a little cheat sheet for you. But just know that the Russian versions are much more extreme. The tongue is way further back or way further forward. Let's practice this again. This letter is sha. Close your eyes. Sha. Now put your tongue forward and close your eyes again. Sha. Sha. So not that hard, right? You just need somebody to tell you these things. So here I am telling you. All right, let's do this line again from the beginning. Jaw, close it. Tongue, mush your tongue up against the back of the bottom teeth. Lips rounded and protruded. Ц, че. Ша, ща. Tongue back, tongue forward. Let's do that one more time. Ц, че. Ша, ща. Отлично. And now, oh, yes, we're reading a word. Okay, so this word involves ц. So you go ahead and read this word syllable by syllable. What's the first syllable probably sound like? Ц. Отлично. The second syllable? И. Might be a little hard to say. Go visit my Russian sounds library. I'll help you out. And then the last syllable sounds like ца. Actually, it sounds like ц, like a schwa vowel, because it's the ending. All right, so let's put it together. You go first, then I'll go. Джо, танк, липс. Царица. Царица. It means female tsar or wife of a tsar. So, what did I want to say? Oh, about stress. Let's use this as an opportunity to practice de-emphasizing unstressed syllables and really emphasizing the one stressed syllable. It's not tsaritsa, like we might say in English. English has a lot of secondary stresses, so to the Russian ear, it sounds like almost every syllable is stressed. But Russian is much different. It has one stress per word. So it's much more kind of melodic in some ways and less choppy. So instead of saying tsaritsa, it's tsaritsa. Tsaritsa. Отлично. Let's do this word. So the first letter looks like an upside down chair. And we know that the I краткая is like the Y in boy. Only in this case, we don't have the O vowel. You go ahead and read this word. Джо, tank, lips. Чай. Чай. Отлично. It means tea. Russians love tea. This next word has the sh vowel with the tongue very far back. And of course, the last letter is an R. Okay, do your best with this word. Here we go. Dro, tank, lips. Шар. Шар. Отлично. And this last one is with the tongue high and forward. And this is not a backwards N. It's what vowel? It's an E vowel. So go ahead and pronounce it. Щи. Щи. Interestingly, it's plural and it means cabbage soup. Отлично. Let's go to the last line. Here we have hard sign, soft sign. So say that after me. This is the simple version. Hard sign, soft sign. And then we have ya. Let's do that one more time. Hard sign, soft sign. ya. Отлично. Let's learn the Russian words for the hard sign and the soft sign. So the first thing you see there is not a letter, it's a sign. It's called твердый знак. Go ahead and let's say that. Dro, tank, lips. Tвердый знак. I cannot represent these sounds perfectly. The vowel is its own thing. I'm doing my best with the Latin letters that I have here, but close your eyes and try to replicate the sound. Here we go. Dro, tank, lips. Tвердый знак. Твердый знак. It means hard sign. Отлично. The next letter is one of my faves. It used to be called yiri. Why is this? Because it's actually composed of two letters, yer and e. I think it's charming. I still call it yiri, but your teachers might call it the sound that it makes. Just do your best to approximate it for now, but I have lots of videos on YouTube and in my Russian course in the sounds library for you to practice with. The soft sign is pronounced мягкий знак. So it's not мягкий знак. Our tongue doesn't have time to go low enough to say мягкий знак. It's мягкий знак. Мягкий знак. Means soft sign. So let's start over. It's твердый знак. I did that for you. Йры. Мягкий знак. ya. So let's learn secret number 7. What do the hard sign and the soft sign actually do? Here's what they do. So the hard sign shows up in the middle of words. If we were to read only the first syllable of this word, look, it's an O. It's not stressed, so it has what vowel sound? A. So go ahead and read it. Ab. Excellent. Let's pretend now that there's a word made of just the last 3 letters. Go ahead and read it. It's ект. Ект. Отлично. Ект. In order to explain the real function of the hard sign, I have to take a little detour. So let's remember that when we had da and где, what was actually happening with где is that the ye was softening the previous de. It was influencing the pronunciation of de. This was called palatalization. Let's do a thought experiment. What if in this word, which means object, by the way, what if in this word there were no hard sign? Then what would be happening in it? Let's use где as a model. The ye would be influencing the b. Our tongue would go to a really high and forward position, and there would be a slight buzz sound in the b. It would be объект, объект. It wouldn't sound at all like ab. It would be объект, which is very, very subtle. It might take you a few times to hear this, but if you put your tongue high and you blend those two sounds together, you get the right sound. Объект. But what happens is because there is a sign of separation here, a hard sign is a sign of separation, it does not allow palatalization. It doesn't allow the softening. And so you pronounce the b with your tongue farther back. Ab. It's not ab, it's ab. And this also means that the y sound in yikt is very prominent. So this word sounds like this. Ab yikt. It's not ye with like in yes. Put your tongue higher and put more air through. Yikt. Объект. Объект. Отлично! Now we know what the hard sign does. Let's pronounce this word that has an I in it. Мы. Мы. And now we come to the soft sign. So the soft sign can be at the ends of words. When it's at the ends of words, it indicates that the previous consonant is pronounced soft. So for t, just like with de, there's a lot of hiss in it. It's not читать, it's читать. So not читать, but читать. This is what I'm doing. Читать. My tongue is moving forward within the second syllable, and I'm putting lots of air through. It's called aspiration. Читать. So that's what happens when the soft sign is at the end of the word. It palatalizes the previous consonant, but just like all these soft vowels, it does the same thing. But when it comes in the middle of the word, it acts as a sign of separation, just like the hard sign. It does indicate that the previous consonant is soft, so it's not brat, it's brать, lots of air, brать. And then how does the second syllable get pronounced? It gets pronounced, gets pronounced ya. Actually, I kind of made that a reduced vowel because it is when you read the word. Ya is the full version. Ya. So instead of bratья, which is all mushed together, it's братья. Братья. That is the soft sign acting as a sign of separation. This ya is at the end of the word, so it gets reduced a little bit to an vowel. So братья. Братья. Phew! Отлично! So that is secret number 7. That's how hard sign and soft sign are signs of separation. Let's read a couple more words using these letters. It's been a while since we did the last 3. They're you, ya. So go ahead and read this word. Read the first syllable. Es. The next syllable. Tra. And the last syllable. Da. Read it all together and make sure that the middle syllable is longer. Estrada. Estrada. Why longer? Because that's what stress is. It elongates syllables. It makes there be a little more energy, a little more opening of the mouth there. And the other syllables, let's shrink them. Let's mumble them. Estrada. Estrada. That is по-русски. And our last word, first syllable, this is the letter U. Юр, second syllable. Ta. Юрта. Юрта. Отлично! That is the whole alphabet, all 7 secrets. Amazing. And so let's review the whole alphabet. Here we go. Imagine sounding Russian. Джо, Тан, Глипс. А, Б, В. Г, Д, Е. Ё, Ж, З. И краткое. К, Л. М, Н. О, П. Р, С, Т. У, Ф, Х. Ц, Ч. Ша, Ща. Твердый знак. Яры. Мягкий знак. Ю, Я. Amazing! Прекрасно! Okay, so I promised there would be a little quiz. Let's do practice together. Then we'll do practice with you going first. And then you'll record yourself. It'll be exactly like you going first, but you'll be able to check your knowledge because in the recording, you'll hear yourself first and me second. All right, let's practice together. Here we go. A, B, V, G, D, E, Ё, Ж, З, И краткое, К, Л, М, Н, О, П, Р, С, Т, У, Ф, Х, Ц, Ч, Ш, Щ. Твердый знак. Еры or ы. Мягкий знак. Ю, я. That was a lot. You might need more than one practice on these, but you can always rewind the video. All right, now we'll do the practice with you first. Here we go. A, B, V. Г, Д, Е. Ё, Ж, З. И краткое. К, Л. М, Н. О, П. Р, С, Т. У, Ф, Х, Ц, Ч, Ш, Щ. Твердый знак. Еры or ы. Мягкий знак. Ю, я. Прекрасно! Отлично! All right, grab your phone. Pause the video, grab your phone, and here we go. Little quiz. You go first. Imagine sounding Russian, and Джо танк lips. A, B, V. G, D, E. Ё, Ж, З. И краткое. К, Л, М, Н, О, П, Р, С, Т, У, Ф, Х, Ц, Ч, Ш, Щ. Твердый знак. Еры or ы. Мягкий знак. Ю, я. Отлично! Поздравляю! I congratulate you with a beautiful performance. And guess what? If it wasn't perfect, we can always practice. Прекрасно! I'm so proud of you for getting all the way through this video. If you'd like a cheat sheet, go ahead and screenshot this right now. This will help you when you're beginning to decode Russian words. And if you enjoyed this video, then come find my online video course, Russian Pronunciation with Kira. Or you can visit my website. It has tons of resources on it, like some Vimeo resources, some video resources, or Patreon is on there. I have a YouTube channel. Come find me. Also some swag on Zazzle with the characters, you know, the kitten dog that I use, etc. So come find me in all of these places and we'll have some more fun. Okay, счастливо!